walk out to the show and fall at your door. We got that info for you. Touchdown on that plane and buy anything. More than just a podcast for you.
Okay, so moving along, let's talk about attitude in the game. Are parents, coaches, and mentors teaching kids how to lose? And what I mean when I say that is when my son was 6, his coach told him, you have to learn how to win with grace and lose with dignity. Do our kids know how to lose with dignity?
No,
No.
no,
I
no.
Not
mean,
at all.
it's a, it's a, you have to be taught that, And I go back, like I said, with my son Russell, like he won everything around here, and then this guy approached me and was like, "Hey, you gotta take him out here to Ohio. The best wrestlers is out here." My coach told me, "Y'all, he's not ready for that." Okay, well, he's winning around here. When will he be ready? We go out there and he lost, and it was different for him. But I said, now you know what you got to work for. Teaching the kid how to lose makes them greater down the line because most kids, if you never witnessed losing in the sport, depending what the sport is, once you start losing, now you don't want to play it no more. It's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to lose. You know what I mean? You can't win all the time. And that's what these kids understand. Just because you lose don't mean you're a failure. Just mean you got to work a little bit harder to be better at what you're doing. But nah, if kids ain't winning, they transferring, they leaving, they going all over the place. Learn how to lose with a team.
Yeah, you got to learn how to lose. And the reason why losing is so important is because of the fact that you lose in life, right? So in life, when you have a family, you can't just quit. You know what I'm saying? In life, when you have something to just, your car break down, you have money issues, you have a problem with your wife or whatever, you can't just quit, man. You got to make a decision, the best decision for the future. So like losing in sports is detrimental to teaching kids how to downfalls occur and you develop and you adapt and overcome in life, and that's just super big, super big. I think coaches on the younger level don't express that enough and how important that is, and that's something that needs to be reiterated at the beginning of every season in every sport that you have to teach kids how to lose with grace and be humble and work hard to get better and do better.
I'm gonna agree on this. We went through this period of time when my son played little league football. He went through a span of 2 years where he didn't lose a game, and then one year they were undefeated and they were unscored on. So and then he transitions to middle school, and when he transitioned to middle school, he lost for the first time. He was like, "What is this?" Honestly, it was really hurt, but it was great because one, he learned that everybody doesn't coach the same way. We were from a really great program called UNA, and it was really, really good. Lots of kids went on to play college, are in the NFL now. So he was accustomed to a certain level of coaching. Everybody coaching don't know what they're doing. Accustomed to a certain level of like team cohesion because we spent time with each other off the field. We did things with each other, and that makes a better team, in my opinion. Whereas when he got to middle school, those people, some of those parents didn't want to know us. They were like, we come into practice and that's it. Some of them wouldn't even show up for practice. So it was really a learning experience for him that one, you have to make adjustments not just in how you play because people are better, but coaching matters, team cohesion matters. So definitely we needed to lose. It made a big difference.
Well, I understand, both sides. I've been on, my son's played in some losing teams, right? He played on some winning teams, right? But in the same sense, I think that all that you're gonna learn from. Like, would I rather them win all the time? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because will winning also build something. You feel me? So you gaining from knowing how to win, knowing how to be a champion, knowing that type of always in the mindset, I'm gonna win. No matter what it is, I'm gonna win. I like that after that, you know, that part of winning. But I do believe that sometimes losing is humbling and everybody needs to be humble sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at.
So next question, let's talk stipends. What are stipend checks and how do they work?
I think the person on the show that gets the biggest stipend check, well, used to get the biggest stipend check should talk first. So we already know Penn State is up there. So
They talking about you. Y'all get checks.
yeah.
Hey, you know, again, the stipend checks, the way I look at them is to help the kids, you know, living in apartments on campus or off campus, helping them pay their bills. It's kind of like, what's the word I want to use? We don't have. It's basically teaching the kids how to be adults. They allot them so much money, and then they gotta learn how to pay bills. Like that's what I be feeling like in school. Like these kids when they graduate and their parents took everything when they got on their own, they struggle because they don't know how to pay bills. They don't know how to, you know, put things all together. So with these stipend checks, you know, if you don't do everything right, it's gonna come back on you. Then they'll probably pull you in. But I never questioned my son's stipend. I know all his bills is paid on time. I know I ain't getting no calls, so he was learning to be responsible. Some kids are not responsible. You know, they may get that money and blow it, and they could be broke. But if you smart with your stipend and you do it the right way, you could definitely benefit from it. He was able to buy his
Yeah.
first car, not spend all his money and saving it.
Yeah. So
Especially
for
like
us,
during the summer.
So
yeah.
I'm gonna jump in. This is where parents, we talk about the cost of attendance versus the traditional scholarship. And this is super important because some of you will get a traditional scholarship, and that's going to cover room and board, tuition, books, and fees. The cost of tuition includes all of those things, plus things like transportation, things like educational supplies, educational expenses, things that come with being a part of college. Like some teachers require you to pay additional fees to have access to things to take tests. So stipends are supposed to cover the difference between the cost of attendance and the traditional scholarship structure. It's really important, moms and dads, that you know that the cost of attendance is not necessarily going to be all covered in your actual your scholarship offer. And I was talking to some kids that I know that played. Not all schools get stipends. There's a range. It ranges anywhere from like 2,000 to, I've seen some schools get like a little over 6,000, but not all schools get stipends. Not all Division I schools get stipends. I did a survey of the guys that I know that play in college currently, or they just recently graduated, and not all of them, depending upon the school, some of them did, some of them did not. Um, and service academies are different. They don't get stipends at all. They get paychecks because they're considered active duty. So experienced parents could be different based on what school your child goes to. So I wanted to point that out because don't everyone shouldn't expect to get a stipend even if they get a college scholarship.
So for us at Ohio State, you know, for most schools, you're going to be in on campus for 1 year just to prove that you can, you know, survive on campus, don't mess your room up, stuff like that. And then after that year, you get the stipend. So Sean, I think he gets somewhere around like 800 every 2 weeks. And then what happens is you do better if you have more roommates. So if you got like 3 roommates, you know what I'm saying, and you stand on around campus somewhere in an apartment, you can pocket a lot of money. I know a lot of kids don't want to do that, but you know, these apartment places around school, they give deals to the kids. Sometimes they let you pull out on a lease or whatever early or whatever. The school will help you out with that. And it's kind of cool. Then when you're living in the I call it barracks, but when you're living on campus,
Don't.
um, everything is cut like in half, so you get like $400 every 2. So you still have money in your pocket. That's for, you know, how much you do one. But we're not like Penn State. We're not like Alabama. You know, y'all do it big. And a lot of times kids, man, they give money back home to their parents, man. A lot of times they save money, put money to the side, pay pay an electric bill or something like that to their parents, because that's, you know, they get food for free. You know, they can eat there for free. They eat at the facility for free. So it's a lot of things they can do with their money, man. It's really really good. I just didn't know that everybody got different money, and then if you got your Pell Grant with that, that's even more money in your pocket. So it's something to really look into. and it makes a difference.
Yes, because parents need to understand that that athletes, the majority of them, because of the demands of being a college athlete, you can't work. So
Mm-hmm.
a stipend, if you're at a school that offers a stipend, that is hugely important, because I was talking to some of the kids and they're like, and just like you said, Randy, they're like, my fellow athletes depend on this money. This is food, this is necessities. They're sending it back home. Like, they need this money because they can't actually work a job. And so that's very common. I didn't quite realize how common it was that people who got stipends sent money back home, but it is fairly common.
It is. Yeah, I know a
Yeah,
couple people at Alabama right now that does that for their families. You know what I'm saying? Like they actually look out. I talked to one guy. Unfortunately, his father wasn't in his father wasn't in the picture. You know what I'm saying? So he always been taking care of his mama, and he was like, "This good that he come to Alabama to get the money, he kind of money he getting to be able to take care of those light bills, those stuff like that for his parents, and also allow him to travel because he never had before." So I believe it's a good thing, and I hope the boys do what they're supposed to do with it.
yeah. Next show we're gonna break it down to. I wish I had some. You write this down, Jay. Next show, we're gonna talk about the D2 and down aspect. So at D2 and
Oh,
down, a lot of those players, they moving off campus or whatever like that. It's still almost like a stipend because it's less money that parents have to play. Hey, and in D2 on down, they let those guys get jobs. They let them get jobs at the library. They let them get jobs at the gym handing out basketball. So it's different, but it's the same at the same time because you saving money that can be put someplace else.